We start. Hey Alice, welcome to
Hey,
Vaartaalaap. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, and very happy to see you because it's a long time ago. We have worked together, and this is why I'm here today, I guess. I don't know.
Sure. So just to give our viewers some background about you, you are a French national and you have been working for more than 15 plus years in the information technology industry. You are the founder of a first French-speaking business analyst community as well. And you've
Exactly.
been working for a very long time as a professional, as a freelancer professional as well.
Exactly.
So
Yeah, as you said, I am the founder of a French-speaking site, which is dedicated to the information about business analysis. It's a very misknown business job. So it's very well known in English speaking countries. Business analyst, when you talk about this kind of job in Canada or in the US, it's very, very well known. But in France and in Belgium, in Switzerland, and all the French speaking countries, it's really not well known. Though it's really used in companies because it's a job that is commonly used in all IT projects, but under other wordings. So, for instance, functional consultant, it's the
mhm.
translation from a
Yeah,
French word,
yeah,
or AMOA, it's also a typical French wording, or consultant in, I don't know, in whatever. When you say
yeah.
consultant, behind you can say also business analyst. So my job and my mission through this site is to educate people. So of course people who wants to become a business analyst, but also companies who need to hire a business analyst because as I said, it's not well known. So it's a mission. And well, until now, I'm quite happy with this site because I have more and more people visiting it and more questions. And I also have an increasingly number of people who I can assist and help in their move to this business analyst job, knowing that a lot of people who wants to become a business analyst are coming from different area. It can be finance, it can be logistics, it can be a specific sector, bank, insurance, leisure, or whatever. And they want to reuse their past experience in a job which is a kind of gate between IT
Mhm.
and business. And so they want to keep their business experience, but they are also very attracted by all IT projects, and which well, it's kind of modern stuff, so they like it.
It's a great endeavor, and I wish you all the best. Through our medium as well, we'll try to promote your community, and we
Thanks.
hope it takes off. So we'll be discussing a bit about future of work, how artificial intelligence and automation is making an impact in your specific business area, as well as what trends do you see in France in general. So to get off on this interview, the first question which I had for you, Alice, was: do you see increasing automation and use of AI impact your specific area of work, and if so, how?
Okay, so well, first of all, I would like to make it clear that the concept of artificial intelligence is often misused in companies. Um, Often it's simply a more or less classic IT project, but to find a sponsor or funding, some people use the term of artificial intelligence because it sounds more modern. So
Yeah.
in reality, many business leaders are confused by the concept of artificial intelligence. So yes, as far as I am concerned, as a business analyst, when I see the term of artificial intelligence appearing, I have a red flag that goes up because it means having to remove these ambiguities from the beginning at the time of the framing of the project. So, for instance, what does the company that is talking about implementing artificial intelligence really want? For example, is a chatbot an artificial intelligence? Or is the organization rather looking for predictive and prescriptive analysis? For example, we can consider that a chatbot, is simply a kind of FAQ with an additional voice recognition functionality. So, by the way, I have just read an article on the discovery of a powerful antibiotic by MIT. Thanks to, so it's a really recent post. And so it was done thanks to an artificial intelligence combined with machine learning. That, to me, is really AI. So what I want to point out is that the notion of AI remains for the vast majority of leaders a sexy but unclear concept. So I see that IT projects that mention the term of artificial intelligence are becoming more and more frequent.
That's true. You brought out 2 points. One, I very often hear a chatbot being thought of being something like an AI, which is not, which is very simplistic. And we all know about coronavirus, which is afflicting China. And a lot of industry leaders who are in pharma, biocon, they are talking about AI intervention in drug discovery for treating diseases like coronavirus.
Okay.
So you brought out a very good perspective on that front. Now, moving more in terms of how something like this has impacted you personally, did you learn new skills on the way to stay in your current role or looking for a career progression?
Well, first of all, I want to come back to the role of the business analyst in information systems project. We, as business analysts, we intervene when an organization needs to implement a solution to meet a need for change, whatever it may be. This can, of course, be the implementation of a new IT solution, for example, a CRM to assist sales teams, or an accounting software, or it can be creating a responsive application for the company's customers. But the change can also be the result of a change in the company's strategic policy. For instance, a merger or an acquisition, the need of to overhaul business processes to improve performance, and so on. So a business analyst, as a business analyst, the bulk of our work is first to understand the business needs of the organization. Then, after appropriate analysis of external and internal constraints, to recommend a solution. And it is only after this step that we will talk about the solution, and that we will have to describe it very, very precisely. So a business analyst is not supposed to work on the technical solution. That's the job of technical architects, developers, and data scientists. For example. Well, however, a business analyst is also a bridge between the business users and the technical teams. So I think that without becoming an expert in AI, a BA should at least have a veneer, or at least perform a constant informational watch on emerging technologies and the business needs that arise from them. Another important point that I think plays in favor of the BA's information effort is that the BA, it means business analyst, must know how to identify its contributors very precisely, whether they are from on the business side or on the development team side. So with the technological progresses, it has led to the emergence of new professions and new skills. In the frame of data sciences and IA, etc., I'm thinking, for example, of data scientists or data analysts, which are really new jobs. So the business analyst needs to understand how he or she will work with them, because there can be a shift in roles and responsibilities between the project team. And another point, artificial intelligence has an impact on the identification of business needs if the organization wants to use the new technological possibilities in a predictive and prescriptive analysis. You have to understand that until now, a business analyst would analyze past data from the company and its environment before proposing recommendations for solutions. And with the emergence of big data, artificial intelligence and therefore predictive and prescriptive analysis, the business analyst will also have to analyze future data. And therefore, even if his job is not to create algorithms, he will have to integrate this data as an additional constraint or opportunity, and not a constraint, but both can be okay. So finally, given the context in which the business analyst operates, which is linked to a need for change, I cannot stress enough the importance of continuous training throughout his or her career, whether it's in the field of IA or not. One can indeed think of all the regulatory changes related, for instance, to data protections, to cybersecurity, also methodological changes in project management, agile methods versus the old waterfall traditional ways of project management, etc. So a business analyst is all the more relevant and competent if he or she has a good general and specific knowledge of the markets in which he or she operates. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I am lucky because my website forces me to keep myself informed continuously in order to write valuable articles. And the feedback I get also from the French-speaking business analyst community is extremely valuable to me in order to stay up to date. And of course, I read a lot of books, and I regularly signed up for training courses on learning platforms such as the MOOC, Coursera, Udemy, etc. And by the way, my last training course is precisely about data sciences from A to Z. So it's the point.
Great perspective. I like you brought around the creation of new roles like data scientists, which are coming up in heaps, even in India and globally. There is a demand. They call data as the new oil. There is a lot of demand for data scientists, people who do machine learning, entire warehousing, building data marts, analyzing data, and then using it in an AI setup. So there has been this evolution of these technologies which is happening, be it AI automation, machine learning. Is it leading more towards retrenchment, vis-a-vis creating new career opportunities in France? How do you see that?
Well, I am not a specialist in the market of new technologies, but I do see countless projects that revolve around new technologies. What we call in French technology. So it's a French startup specializing in new technologies. It is also very stimulated by this context of intense and rapid progress. So I think that in any case, in the globalized society in which we live, well, all countries are impacted by the emergence of new technologies, yes.
Okay. And in coming back to the role of business analysts, do you see, in light of what's happening, the way future of work is going, will business analysts or business analysts as a career will be there in 10 years? And if it's there, how will it be transformed?
So not only will the role of business analyst still be largely present in 10 years' time, but I think it will be even more necessary than it is now. Let me explain. After the era of mass consumption, we have now entered in a society of personalization of needs. Until a few years ago, customers were grouped in by target audience, that is to say by groups of customers with common characteristics. New technologies now make it possible to target customer needs almost individually. So creating a solution that responds to identified needs for a target audience was already complicated enough. So one can imagine that how it can become even more complex with a needs of analysis at the level of the individual. So I don't have a crystal ball, of course, but I think that in 10 years' time, it's possible that the job of business analyst will be even more focused on soft skills rather than hard skills, but also that it will require even more holistic knowledge and general knowledge that it does now. okay, a business analyst may be able to have algorithms to do his data analysis, or have a program automatically write the functional specifications of the target solution. We can just imagine that. But initially, it will be up to him or her to identify the countless, growing, and complex internal and external constraints to be taken into account. And honestly, without counting it's also I think of many other activities of the business analysis that call for soft skills, communication, elicitation, change management, etc. So and I hope those skills will not be delegated to computer programs unless we lose our souls as human beings. So let's cross fingers. And also, I want to point out, let's not forget that 50% of the success of an IT project depends on the ability to accompany the change. And the day when artificial intelligence will be able to have an emotional intelligence, okay, we'll talk about it again, but not yet, I think so.
Great. So I think you touched upon the point of emotional intelligence, which is something which is probably still 10 to 20 years away, when machines, either there is a combination of man and machine, or the algorithms become so proficient that they can understand the emotional level of human beings, and then subsequently, yeah, you
it's
will see.
Science fiction, or we'll see in
Yes.
in a few years. I don't think that for the moment it's possible for computers and programs to replace the emotional states of human beings. But
Yeah,
let's
let's
see.
see how future unfolds. So coming to one last question, and France is a pioneer in terms of digital tax. I think it was 1.5 years back that France became the first country to introduce a digital tax on some of these internet behemoths like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, and even some big French companies as well. Um, my thought process was that France is doing something like that uh, to it to get some taxes out of these companies and then reinvest it back in terms of reskilling or re-educating its workforce, especially in the software industry or IT industry. So, how do you see something like this?
Well, understood, France is indeed pushing the J7 countries to adopt an international tax on digital services. Uh, Also, what I understood is that it will be an international tax and not a local tax at the country level, because obviously, if a country has a local tax, chances are that these digital giants like Google or Amazon will manage to get around the constraints by going through other less restrictive countries than France. So the purpose of this tax, as I understand it, is to take account of new customer purchasing patterns, and in particular the fact that e-commerce now dominates purchasing behavior. And so the aim is to introduce fairness, so that the physical shops are not taxed more than online shops. What I have also understood is that this international taxation will replace the local taxation of countries. So it would not be a new tax. And therefore, logically, it should not bring more money into the coffers. So, well, in any case, I don't know, but I would be interested to have expert opinions on the subject.
Okay, great. So I think not only a lot of countries are learning from France. There is OECD, which is creating a global framework of a tax on these digital giants, and as you said, that would be more global in nature, so that companies cannot go into tax havens and save money through that. Good. So I believe we have touched on a lot of topics, especially around the around business analysis, and to some extent system analysis too, as you spoke about certain things related to IT industry. Uh, Great perspectives, and I think some of our viewers will surely be interested in knowing what you are doing in your business analysis community in future.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it was great also to share about IA, which is an important topic for the future next years and also for the present.
Hopefully, we'll touch base on any new topic in future in a Vaartaalaap series. And
okay, my pleasure. Okay.
Thanks a lot. Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.